I just asked Sean what his message was to the players. What's your message to the front office and the coaching staff for the next 6 weeks before you reconvene?
Recharge, refresh, and communicate wherever your job is. If you're a trainer, if something's going on. If you're a scout and you hear something, whatever your job is, communicate with us. But get away. We got a long grind. Let's be fresh when we get back.
Wasn't today supposed to be an off day?
You have to ask the head coach.
What sort of growth did you see from your position observing practice since the beginning of OTAs to now?
Growth as far as what?
A lot of new faces, and maybe the integration of those.
Yeah, I think it's good to see, Mitch Trubisky getting a chance to run with the ones a little bit, lead those guys. I thought he had some really good drives. Him being here a couple years back, bringing him back on and just seeing him reacclimate. But a lot of young faces, a lot of new faces, some guys, obviously rookies trying to make a name for themselves, but some vets that have bounced around. We got a lot of competition, obviously, at receiver and, on the offensive side. Defensively, different guys trying to earn spots, made some plays. It's funny, you got all different categories of established players that were paid or drafted in certain areas that are trying to establish themselves, and then new guys on this team trying to learn and make sure they know what to do when they get to training camp.
Have you sensed any sort of a new energy with so many new players, even coaches in new roles, and things just being a little different than they have been with the continuity of years past?
Yeah, I think change can be good. Sometimes people are resistant to change, and naturally so. A lot of the things that we've been able to do, we've had success, so why are you changing it? But it's the nature of the business. You always want to stay a step ahead, and this is a new team. Every team's a new team, but this is truly a lot of new faces. As I said before, some players coming from other teams that have had success, or maybe things didn't work out as well, and we've got a fresh opportunity for them to reestablish themselves. So as always, it's been a good spring. We got some guys nicked up. We got to get them healthy, but I'm ready to get a break. I'm ready for everyone to get a break, and but I'll be excited when we get to St. John Fisher. You'll be fired up.
Brandon, off topic, but every day teams are announcing joint practices for training camp.
Yeah.
What is sort of your guys' philosophy on not going that route?
Yeah, we're not against it at all. We've had things in the past that were tentatively lined up, and so we're not against it, and doesn't mean we're not going to do something.
Brandon,
as well.
I'm sorry.
Could you possibly do something this year still?
Possibly.
Okay.
Brandon, you mentioned the wide receivers. What about Keon Coleman? In particular, what have you seen from him through OTAs and now minicamp?
I think Keon's worked hard, like anything. College playbook versus an NFL playbook, big difference. The verbiage where he's lining up, the side adjust, all the variances he's got to do. Even just what we ask in the run game for our guys. I don't know specifically what he was asked there. Some schools are, there's very little. It's just like if it's not a pass play, take a play off. That's not here. He's got to be involved in all phases of our offense. So, but I see a guy who's working hard, who's competitive. You guys have got to know his personality. He's genuine. That's truly who he is. And like anything, he's going to have bumps in the road. He's a rookie, and I think we all need to understand that. But I think him and Josh are working on that rapport that's going to be necessary between quarterback and receiver.
Any injuries pop up this week aside from Khalil, and do you know anything about that?
Yeah, there's a few here and there. We got some nicks and bruises. I think Khalil's going to be okay. I'm hopeful that everyone will be ready when we start or close. Is the goal. Obviously, they got to work through the summer.
Gable said he just got a phone call from the Bills one day. What was that like for you guys? Like, what led you to bringing him here? Yeah,
we had some talks. I think Sean was having a conversation with someone in the wrestling world. I can't remember who it was, and we got to talking about, we've always talked about various, with his wrestling background and pedigree, guys that make position switches. Obviously, sport switches. We brought in the lacrosse player at rookie camp, and so we got his number. I had one of our pro guys call him, and called him directly because he didn't have an agent at the time, and so we talked to him. Just what's the interest level? Is this just like something you think would be fun, or are you all in for this? So he worked out, showed some things. We weren't ready at that time, but we sent him some things that we thought he needed to think about, and if he wants to do that, we'll circle back. And in the meantime, he hired an agent, and So it worked out, whatever that was, 2 to 3 weeks later to get him here. And like a lot of these rookies, he's a rookie in his own way, trying to make a sport
Between
change.
him and Travis Clayton, like taking chances on guys who haven't played any football or a lot of football before, like where does that belief come from? And like, why take those chances on these guys who don't have the football experience?
Well, you got a 90-man roster, and so you're trying to look for everything, and you want it to be as competitive of a roster as you can. And sometimes the known player who's your 88th player, you already know when you bring him in, this is what he is. This is what he's going to be at the start of camp, and this is what he's going to be at the end of the camp. Whereas maybe you're getting a guy here that's a little rawer, less experience, but has the pedigree, the ability to have a higher ceiling. And so let's take a shot here or there. If it makes sense, everything checks out. And so those are why we would take a shot on those. Easier to do that at 90 than, these guys are going to have a hard task, both the guys we're talking about, of going from the 90 to that 53.
Brandon, what made you comfortable adding Gable, considering the off-the-field pass that he has, the issue that he had off the field to come before this?
Yeah, I believe he was cleared from all that, so everything checked out. As I've told you guys before, I'm not a crime investigator or anything. There was never anything there. There was never anything no charges, anything like that. So again, but.
Brandon, where are you at now with concerns at linebacker, and how did Shaquille Quartermain look to you out there?
He did a good job. I had to watch all the film to see everything. You're trying to watch a lot of guys, but we do know him. We've brought him in before, and had a look at him as a workout candidate. So we're very familiar with him. And what was your first question, Mookie?
Where are your concerns at as far as linebacker?
Yeah, just right now, health. That's our concern. We get some guys are nicked up there. Obviously, Matt's working his way back. It's good to see him back on the field, and we all know what he brings to this team on and off the field.
How much of the next 6 weeks might be spent thinking about the new kickoff rule and how you have to structure the roster or even the strategy involved going into the preseason?
I'm not going to think a lot about it on the golf course, Sal. I'm really not. I think we've thought about it. We've talked about it since it passed in March. And there's some unknowns that I can't answer over the next 6 weeks while I'm trying to make that 6-foot putt.
Got it. Good luck on that.
But in Rochester, ask me.
Okay.
And that'd be a better time.